Hello and welcome to another edition of the SCA Cricket Show. I'm your host, Shazad Haq. Well, on this episode we have plenty of action, reaction and another exclusive interview. We're going to start off with the Griffin Kinetic League Division 2. Well, we're into the penultimate round of matches, so it's no surprise that all the teams are trying to secure as many points as possible. Here's a look at what happened. NDCC took on SPA 1 at the Ceylon Sports Club on 20th November. SPA 1 won the toss and put NDCC to bat, and SPA immediately benefited from the decision, Ali Rafi taking out opener Gopakumar in the third over for just 11 runs. Manikandan and Tarun steadied the ship with a 63-run stand before Manikandan carelessly got run out. Tarun fell victim to Leicester shortly after. Sridhar Rajavelu and Gokul put on an important 50-run partnership for the fourth wicket to take NDCC past the 100-run mark. Sridhar top scoring for NDCC with his quick-fire 37 off 36 balls. NDCC lost the wicket of Sridhar to Tala in the 23rd over and then lost new bat Murugan 5 overs later. NDCC managed 171 for 5 in 27.3 overs before the rain intervened. Unfortunately, the weather did not improve through the afternoon, forcing the umpire to call off the match and divide the points between SPA 1 and NDCC.
What did the team make of their performance this season?
Well, we had a mixed season this year. To be honest, I should say that we could have done better. We basically lack sort of new players, and we want to that's our plan also for next year, to bring in new players. This season we won few matches, but there were some that were pretty close, and we should have done better.
In what areas are you hoping to improve for next season?
Batting, for sure. We have very good bowling side. We are, Singapore-Pakistan Association. So Pakistan is typically very well known for bowling. So we are pretty good bowlers, but batting is something we lack, and we need to have a lot more patience in there. So we're trying to bring in new blood and typically batsmen, so that we can improve.
So what did the team make of your performance in this season?
The season has been actually on and off. 30% of the matches have been washed away due to the rain, but the remaining matches we have won half of them, and half of them we lost. So there's still 2 more matches to play. So we expect the team to win them and push for a really strong finish over the end of the season.
In what areas do you think or your team wants to improve for next season?
One of the key areas that we want to improve on is batting across the team. We want to make sure that we plan out and play out the complete 40 overs. At the same time, rest of the departments of the game, like the bowling and the fielding, we want to push ahead and make sure that we finish among the top 3 of the teams in the division next season.
Well, NDCC definitely needed to improve on their batting after their performance against the MUCC Knights in the other Division 2 game at the Ceylon Sports Club. NDCC won the toss and opted to bat. The decision proved disastrous for NDCC as they were all out for just 45 in 17 overs. Only 2 batsmen in the entire lineup managed double figures. One of them, Tarun, top scoring with 14. MUCC Knights Kumar did most of the damage with the ball, with figures of 4 for 20. So it was an easy outing all in all for MUCC, who reached their target of 46 in just 6.4 overs, and lost just 1 wicket in the process. Opener Vinod out for 7. Captain Rajendran led from the front, top scoring with 23 and sharing a second wicket stand of 37 to hand MUCC Knights a massive 9-wicket victory.
What does the team think of the performance of the team this season?
So far, actually, this year for us is actually second year. I mean, the Division 2 is only the second year, but we really is put from the first game until the end. We wanted to put our all effort and 100%. So we win all the way is 10 games we win. 3 matches unfortunately wash out, and only 1 game we lose against Ansa. So otherwise, we Division 2 this year is really a good comeback compared with the last year.
Where exactly do you want to improve for next season?
Okay, actually, so far the batting lineup and bowling lineup, the first few of them is really consistent. and for opening bowlers like Krishna and Basir and Jamal and all this. And the batting wise, Kumar and Babu, of course, Babu did a very good part for last couple of years for my team, the Division 2. He's a best batsman also. Actually, consistently last 3 years he's the best batsman, even this year. So they really wanted to play in Division 1. They are really planning. This year only we second place. The first place is Cougars. Compared with them, Isabia is because of the unfortunate washout, 3 matches washout really made the difference there. Yeah, we need to see. It depends on the luck also, because even though how talented we are, so because of the washout is change the games and all this.
2 games were completely washed out over the weekend of the 26th and 27th November. The first was a Division 1 game at the Singapore Cricket Club between the SCC Lions and CSC 1. The other match was a Division 2 game between SPA 1 versus SCA Juniors. In both cases, all 4 teams will share the points. Well, there's plenty more coming up here on the SCA Cricket Show as we move from outdoor to indoor cricket. Plus, our resident coach gives us another handy tip. Welcome back to the SCA Cricket Show. Well, now let's move on to indoor cricket. The Weekend League has recently concluded, while the Weekday League has still one more round to play. Here's a look at the latest action. Let's start with the Indoor Weekday League played at the Cage in Kallang. And the first game was between Black Adders and BK Durians. BK Durians batted first, making 119 and losing just 3 wickets on the way. The second pairing of Rod Curtis and Tim Jaja worked very well together with a 44-run stand. Curtis also top scoring with 29. Black Adders' Sandeep Nair did well with the ball, taking 2 of the 3 wickets and giving away no runs. This one turned out to be a fairly one-sided match, as Black Adders managed just 53 for a whopping 12 wickets. The fourth pairing of Russell Otter and Sandeep had a really good partnership with 46. Sandeep also getting the most individual runs at 25. But in the end, the target proved too large for Black Adders, especially with them frequently losing wickets. BK Durians' Andrew took 4 wickets to hand his team a 66-run win. The other match was played between Powerplay and Marina. This was a low-scoring match, with Marina making 41 for 11 after opting to bat first. The opening partnership between Faiz Modak and Akshay Sharma was impressive, as they shared a 47-run stand. Faiz also top scoring with 30, but having lost 11 wickets in the innings, Marina were ultimately restricted to 41. Powerplay's Akshay had the team's best bowling figures of 4 for -3. In their reply, Powerplay managed 66 for 12. The third pair of Kartikeyan Subramaniam and Sunil Kumar helped push the scoreline along with a 27-run partnership. Sunil also their best batsman with 22 runs. And despite Saurabh's valiant 4 wickets, Marina's target was too easy in the end, as Powerplay clinched a 25-run win. So the win for Powerplay sees them on top of the table with 27 points from 9 games. Victory in the final game means they will have a 100% win record. Powerplay are looking good to take the title, with Octopus 6 points behind in second and only a game left to play. Over to the Weekend League at the Sports Planet East Coast, and the game between Netap Raiders and Hurricanes. This was a completely one-sided affair, as Netap batted first and managed only 69 runs while losing 16 wickets as well. The second pairing of Puneet Bhutan and Vishwa Kumar had the best partnership with 42 runs. Puneet also the standout individual performer with 30. But the runs were enough, as Hurricanes romped to a 73-run win, making 142 for 8 in their reply. Ritesh Modgal and Viral Swami's fourth pairing was the most successful with 36 runs, while Praful Kumar top scored with 29 runs. Netap Raiders' Sachin did well to take 3 wickets for just 2 runs, but his effort proved futile in the end. The next match was between Wanderers and Locals. Wanderers batted first, making an impressive 125 for 11 in their innings. The second pairing of Mani and Adnan proved to be the most fruitful with 35 runs, while Justin was their best individual performer with 25 runs. Locals' Kedar Modi also did well with the ball, taking 3 wickets for 2 runs. This was a closely fought match, Locals just edging out Wanderers by 3 runs. Locals making 128 for 8, with a final pairing of Vivek Kumar and Varun Chugh scoring 42 of those runs between them. Kartikeyan Subramaniam was their best bat, his 36-run knock, handing Locals the narrow win. 8 Idiots took on Phillips in the next game, and this one was another nail-biter. Phillips batted first, making a competitive 95 for 14. The third pairing of Nigel and Farooq the most successful with 34 runs. Nigel also Phillips' best individual bat with 23. But 8 Idiots' Gaurav was instrumental in restricting Phillips to under 100 with his 4 wickets for -2 runs. In their reply, 8 Idiots got off to a good start. The opening pair of Vinay Badal and Sachin Kataria sharing a 35-run stand, with Vinay also getting the highest individual score of 19. Phillips' Nigel did well with the ball, his 3 for 8 really pushing this game down to the wire. In the end, Local scoring 96 for 10, winning the match by a single run. The next game saw City Gladiators take on Old Monks. City Gladiators batted first, making a defendable 101 for 9. Nagaraj and Gopi's 4th wicket stand of 34 runs was the most successful among all the pairings. Nagaraj also their best batsman with 35 runs. Old Monks' Deep Banerjee had the best bowling figures in his team with 2 for 6. In their reply, Old Monks could only make 90 for 13. The second pairing of Sunil Chavan and Sunil Kumar was the team's best effort with a 47-run partnership. Sunil Chavan also top scoring with 25 runs, but it was City's Venkat Subramaniam's 4 wickets that became the decisive factor as Old Monks lost 1 wicket too many to crumble to a 11-run defeat. So here's what the results meant for the season. Saints have won the championship pool for the very first time, after Old Monks' loss saw them remain in second place with 6 points, 3 adrift of the champions. City Gladiators' win sees them finish third with 6 points as well. Meanwhile, the Outlanders have won the plate pool by a 0.8 run rate margin. Hurricanes win, tying them on 9 points with the table toppers, but falling just short on run rate. Wanderers will also be rueing their defeat as it saw them finish third, a further 3 points behind. It's that time of the show again where we turn to our resident coach Arjun Menon for his coaching tip of the week.
Today's segment we're going to talk about some of the basics of long catching, and today I've got Keegan here to help me out with this. Now, with long catching, most times it can be quite a daunting prospect, especially for youngsters, if some of the basics are not kept right. So today I'm just going to talk about some of the basics we want to look at and focus on to make sure that long catching becomes a very successful thing to do. Right? First thing we want to talk about long catching is very important to actually get to where the ball is. Now, if the ball's been hit up in the air and hangs for a while, you need to actually get there before you try anything and try to catch it. So first thing is actually getting to the ball, which I can't really show you now. Okay, the second thing is to actually have a stable base just before you catch the ball. So you don't want your feet too narrow just before trying to catch the ball. So if you have too narrow feet, you'll be off balance most times. Okay, you just want to maybe a nice stable wide base, okay, and trying to catch the ball. Now, the third point is to have the catching style employed by your hands. Now, you can either have a reverse cup that's very popular in Australia, okay, or the traditional cup, which is used in the subcontinent a lot. It doesn't matter which one you use, but the most important thing about this is to have your hands up in front of your eyes when you're trying to catch, so you know where the ball is in relation to your hands, so your hand-eye coordination kicks in. If your hands are too low and away from your eyes, you don't really know where your hands are, and most times it's guesswork. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to send Keegan out and he's going to do a few long catches to show you how to play.
Up ahead, a former international cricketer talks about his career and all things cricket in this exclusive interview with the SCA Cricket Show. Welcome back. Former Sri Lankan cricketer Nuwan Zoysa was in town a few months back for the SCC PayPal T20 tournament. He was here with Sinhalese Sports Club, which successfully defended their title. Zoysa had a great start to his career. In just his 8th test match, he took a hat-trick off the very first 3 balls of the match, the first time that's ever happened. Unfortunately, his career was plagued with injury, and he soon faded away from international cricket. I got the chance to sit down with him in this exclusive interview to talk about his career. Okay, Nuwan, let's talk about your childhood. What made you pick up cricket? Why did you decide to take up the sport?
Well, my childhood days, I love cricket, you know. My idol was Wasim Akram, the small days, and Imran Khan. So that's what made me a good cricketer, you know. I worked hard to come to this place, and I achieved so many things. I'm so happy.
You picked up Wasim Akram there because he was a left armer. You always wanted to be a bowler?
Yeah, because I like his actions and attitude, everything. You know, it's more arrogance when it comes to bowling. You know, one day I thought, okay, I never thought I would play for Sri Lanka, like in play school cricket. But yeah, so he is the idol for my career actually.
Have you hung out with Wasim before?
Recently, yes, of course. I will start playing for national team, and we toured Pakistan. I met him so many times. He was so helpful to work out some bowling techniques as well. He's very helpful, and he taught me how to bowl in swinger and all these things. Such a nice person, you know. Yeah.
And tell us that moment when you got picked for Sri Lanka. What was it like?
It was like a dream come true, you know. I was playing for school cricket, you know. All of a sudden they asked me to come and play A-team cricket against West Indies. It was 95 A-team cricket, you know. Then I bowled really well, and I got picked for the New Zealand tour, you know, 97. It's a away tour. So yeah, it was like dream, you know. When I went home and told that I was picked, everybody was so happy, you know. That's one of the moments we cherish a lot.
Tell us about the very first game that you played for Sri Lanka. What's your biggest memory of that very first match?
I think the atmosphere, you know, it was against New Zealand at Christchurch. It's totally different condition, you know. We were like, I was schoolboy that time, 17 plus, and yeah, I went to New Zealand. So many hours to fly, you know. Never expected New Zealand that cold, you know. Christchurch like 10 degrees. So yeah, the moment, and they gave me the cap. Those are like, they never forget those memories.
What about your best moment as an international cricketer?
Yeah, playing for national team, won, and I got a hat-trick. That's a world record against Zimbabwe in '99 at Harare Sports Club. Wasi bowled first over. Next over, I bowled first 3 balls. I picked 3 wickets. Trevor Gripper, Murray Goodwin, and Neil Johnson. That's the best time of my life so far.
And you would call that your best bowling performance as well?
No, that was the most happiest moment. I got 2 fifers against Zimbabwe and South Africa. And yeah, and I won a couple of matches batting as well. And I never forget against Australia, I bowled really well. I got 3 wickets for 30 runs and had a good partnership with Raz Ani. And I scored 47 not out. That's a game, another game I will never forget.
Do you have any regrets as a national cricketer?
Yeah, because I had a lot of injuries. That's kept me out like 3-4 good years of cricket. Because of that, it was so competitive, you know. People came, good players came and performed well. Because of that, I was out. Those are the things, you know, when you're a cricketer, you have to go through all those things, yeah. So, yeah, that's it.
How about now, as a bowler, who did you love to bowl against?
Well, a good question. I never forget moments like bowling to Brian Lara and Sachin. Those are the good 2 players. I seriously enjoy bowling because when you start running, you feel a bit shivering, you know, like, yeah, man, you know, get to 10,000 plus and one of the best players, you know, playing like Lara. So yeah, got them out as well. So it's very nice. Yeah, those are the 2 players I really enjoy bowling.
Who did you not like bowling to?
Well, Shahid Afridi and Sehwag, very dangerous, you know, on his days. I mean, they're devastating. So good cricketers, honestly, yeah.
And also because you do bat pretty well as well. Who do you not like facing?
I haven't faced Daryl Steyn and Mokels, but I faced Brett Lee and Shoaib Akhtar. I think Brett a bit dangerous, you know. He bowled very quick.
Who did you like to face though?
Yeah, well, it's not nice to say. I mean, you know, flat tracks, you know, some nice gentle medium. Yeah, lovely to have.
Good answer. We'll hear more from Nuwan Zoysa in just a bit, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the SCA Cricket Show. Now let's continue with our second part of that exclusive interview with former Sri Lankan cricketer Nuwan Zoysa. Now tell us, in the Sri Lankan national team, who's your best friend? Who do you hang out with the most and why?
Oh, well, I hang out with Sangha, Maila and Dilhara Tilan because we are very close. 3 of the players playing together, and Maila is one of my best friends, you know. So we are very close. That reason, Sri Lanka played for NCC and we played for SCA. It's like next door, so we are very close.
And now you're playing 2020 cricket here in Singapore. Do you believe this format of the game is killing off other forms of cricket?
I never think, it's one part of the game, you should have these things, It's good for the players who are not seen on the TV. You can see some talent as well. So I really don't think this is a killer, right? We have seen Test cricket now, and we saw Ashes now. India playing against England. So each day you see houseful grounds. So I don't think this is a killer. 2020 cricket.
Let's talk about the 2011 World Cup final. Where were you watching it, and what were your thoughts on Sri Lanka losing?
Well, a bit disappointing, I think 274 something I think we scored. In a given day like 274 and the World Cup finals, I really thought it's icing on the cream, but then again we picked 2 spinners and we bowled second in a due condition. Maybe they thought, okay, we can get some early wicket, but we did that, and Kohli and Gautam batted really well and won them for India. So one of those days, I think Sri Lanka hasn't realized what's the best combination. Yeah.
Talking of Sri Lanka and combinations, they've just lost some very senior players, Murali, Sanajaya Surya. Can Sri Lanka recover from that and progress?
It'll take some time. We saw what happened to Australia like a few years ago. Now we had Glenn, Phonis and all those players. But yeah, we lost 2 magicians like Murali, Vasi and Sanath. So we'll pick up for sure, but it'll take some time. The youngsters need to play a lot, not to drop them or keep them out. They should play consistently. Like the players they recognize, they should play him. So that's only they get better.
Tell us, Nuwan, what are you up to these days, and what are your plans for the future?
Well, this is nice, playing cricket here, and that's always good. And I'm coaching. I want to become a good specialist bowling coach, and I'm doing umpiring as well. So you never know where the life goes. So I really want to improve those 2 areas and see where I can stand like a couple of years' time.
So are you maybe aspiring to be an international coach or umpire?
Oh, that's the aim actually. I like to be an umpire, to be honest, but coaching is always there. Umpiring had to really work hard. So I did 5 games, like all local matches. So never know where I can stay,
Well, Nuwan Zoyce, has been a real pleasure to have you on the SCA Cricket Show. Thanks for joining us.
No, thank you very much.
Well, that's just about it here on the SCA Cricket Show. Coming up in our next episode, we'll take a closer look at the national team's preparations for the World Cricket League Division 5 tournament, which Singapore will be hosting in February 2012. In the meantime, you can always send us your feedback to the email address at the bottom of your screen. For now, though, it's goodbye.